Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Siege of Avalon. We're now in force number 8. There was nothing to see in force number 9 just yet, so I skipped past it. And this is actually the last section of the game, or section of the chapter anyway. And if you head over here, you'll find Shahul Archer, and if you head further to the left, you'll find another one. We're in about the center of the map right now, and somewhere around here is another archer you need to defeat. Let's see. Where is he? There he is. And after you defeat him, you can head up to the top right along the main road there, and what you'll find is there are two waaaaghhhh. These ones are just warriors, and you can defeat them without too much trouble. And if you head further to the right, you'll actually find a little encampment of them, and they'll run out and attack you. And unfortunately, there's a caster among them apparently, and they have a tendency to cast spells at you from off the screen, which is very bad for your long-term health. So you want to take care of them as quickly as possible, but if we try to run ahead and defeat just the caster, we'll run into more trouble than it's worth. So we're just going to try to wipe out these guys to begin with, and then we'll head over and fight their spellcasting companion. So they're dead now, and I'm going to head over here and try to take him out. And as you can see, he likes to cast spells on us from off the screen, which isn't really fair if you ask me, but he does it anyway. And these spells will finish him off, and we'll beat up his friend too. And once they're dead, there's just two guys left up to the top here. And once they're dead, you'll actually have cleared the area for the messenger, and we'll also be able to go back and get the special training from the elf warrior we saw. I believe his name was Askari. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and head back to the hidden outpost and get those. See you in a minute. And welcome back. We're back here at Askari, and for the battles that are coming up, I'm going to actually equip the cold spell instead of the fireball spell, since many of our enemies will be single ones. So I'll be using that for the time being. And if we talk to him, he'll be so impressed of our defeat of the waaaaghhhh, he'll offer to train us. But unfortunately, gone are the days where we could get training for free. We now actually have to earn it. What I mean by that is he's actually going to send us a little quest in order to get the training. Fortunately, the quest is accomplished right here for the first one, where we have to fight a number of phantasmal warriors. Fortunately, they're not too much trouble, but something is actually glitched with them, I think, because they hit me a lot, but they don't seem to ever do any damage. Don't really know what's up with that, but it's there. I haven't accidentally activated the debug mode, but for some reason these guys never seem to do any damage. I don't really know why that is exactly, but it's certainly the case. And as the mage, you actually have to be sort of careful not to hit Askari as you're doing this, because if you hit him, he'll turn hostile, and as will all the other friendly NPCs in the game, and your save will be ruined and you'll have to start again. So be careful. As you saw there's quite a few spells floating around. Anyway, we seem to have defeated them all. If we talk to him again, we gain the training. Weapon Mastery, +3 Coordination, +10 Combat. Not too shabby. So we can talk to him again and get more. Pain Control, +30 hit points and +3 healing rate. That sounds a lot more interesting. And he tells us to go investigate an abandoned tower in the southeast corner of the forest, and eradicate all the foes located within it. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and do that. So he tells us to go into the southeast corner. Now that's force number 3, bottom right. So we'll head over there and see if we can't find it. I mentioned an abandoned tower, and so that's what we're looking for. Now, as the mage, this particular battle isn't too much trouble. It shouldn't isn't too much of a challenge for us. The scout has a fairly easy job of this, mostly because he can snipe the enemies like most others and just kill them off that way. But the warrior in particular, actually he'll be a knight by this point, but the melee class anyway, will have a bit of trouble with this particular quest because the enemies you fight are rather good at melee. Your best hope to defeat this particular quest is to basically just activate your Ore of Iron spell, which you should have, and hope for the best, really. We're going to head up there now and try to defeat them. Hopefully they don't give us too much trouble. But as you can see, they go down fairly quickly. But as the warrior, you wouldn't kill them nearly as fast as that. And they would tend to hit you a lot and force you into a stun, and it would be very unpleasant in general. So do be careful if you're doing that as the warrior. I found it's a bit challenging for him. Anyway, with that done, we can now head back to Askari and claim our reward, which will be 30 hit points and plus 3 healing rate. One of the better ones he has to offer, I think. The last one, as I recall, is a minus 10 restriction, which is also very good. Your speed of casting is determined by your restriction. The lower the restriction, the better. So you don't want to have too high of a restriction, which is why you really don't want to wear too much armor. We're wearing a bit right now just because a bit more speed isn't more important than being having at least some protection on you so you don't die in one hit from every opponent that comes along. But our restriction is actually rather good already. It's already at 0, which is fairly low, and we still don't have all the training in the game. But with this done, we now pick up that piece of training, and there's now one left for him to teach us, which is Fortitude. Minus 10 restriction, definitely worth it again. The first one might not have been really worth it. I mean, 3 coordination and plus 10 I believe combat isn't the greatest in the world, but it does help our defense a little bit. So it's not too bad. And again, really, for the price it's offered at, you might as well do it. It's so cheap, it's irresistible. So anyway, here we are, and he summons up a Phantom, and Phantom is actually rather easy to defeat. So with that dead, we head back down, and that is the last of the special training for this chapter. That's it. As you saw, it was pretty specialized for the warrior. The warrior is the only one that takes advantage of combat and coordination. The mage likes the hit points, but they're much more important to the warrior. And again, the restriction helps everybody out, or the reduced restriction helps everybody out. But again, it's not terribly important. Oh, and one thing to note is that while you're doing this, he actually gives you I forgot to mention this, he gives you a penalty to your statistics while you're completing his quest. See, right now, the benefit to this quest is a minus 10 restriction, and he's given us a magical burden of plus 10 restriction. So it's meant to make the quest a little more difficult. Unfortunately, in our case, it didn't really work. But anyway, with that done, we now have our shiny new training. Minus 10 restriction, and that puts us at minus 9 restriction altogether, which is pretty good, if I do say so myself. And we're now going to head up to the main area here and report our success. And we're told to give our letter to a man named Byron, who is to be the messenger of the letter to King Vortigern. And he's going to hopefully depart immediately with it. And we mention that we've cleared the way for him, and he sets off immediately. So we go ahead and head back to Captain to see what else he has to say. And we'll see what else we have to do around here now that our mission appears to be completed. But we'll do that in the next video. See you then.